Caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant, a substance that accelerates your brain and nervous system activity. You'll find it in coffee, tea, sodas, and energy drinks, fueling billions of individuals each morning. For most people, it's more than just a beverage, it's a ceremony. The day can't truly start until that initial sip reaches your lips. After you consume it, caffeine gets absorbed into your bloodstream and rapidly makes its way to your brain. Once there, it prevents a substance called adenosine from working. Adenosine is what signals your brain that you're tired, so caffeine doesn't actually provide you with energy, it simply masks your fatigue. Your brain cells begin activating more rapidly, your heart pumps more forcefully, and suddenly you feel more alert, more present. Within 20 to 30 minutes, the maximum effect arrives. You're concentrated, energized, and driven. Everything seems more transparent, simpler, more manageable. It's not pure joy, it's assurance in a cup. But as your system processes it, adenosine returns in force and you experience a drop. That mental clarity transforms into irritability, nervousness, and the growing notion that perhaps another coffee will solve it. Caffeine creates mild dependency, but it conceals itself within daily habits. Eventually, your brain adapts and reduces its natural production of alertness. You require more caffeine just to feel ordinary. Stop abruptly, and you'll definitely notice it. Headaches, exhaustion, and mental haziness. We make jokes about requiring coffee to function, but that's actually withdrawal dressed up as lifestyle. The reality is, caffeine doesn't truly wake you up. It simply postpones your fatigue until a later time. Nicotine? Nicotine is a rapidly acting stimulant present in tobacco and vaping products. The substance that creates dependency, not the smoke alone. It's absorbed through smoke or vapor, and in mere seconds, it reaches the brain, triggering a rush of dopamine, the substance that generates feelings of calm, focus, and satisfaction. Initially, it seems ideal. Your pulse quickens slightly, your mind becomes clearer, and anxiety dissolves. That's the beginning, a short, pure elevation that seems manageable. For several minutes, your brain operates more smoothly, but nicotine depletes rapidly. As dopamine diminishes, the tranquility transforms into anxiety, agitation, and a desire for another dose. That's the decline, and it's what keeps individuals trapped in the pattern. Each inhalation provides momentary relief from the unease that the previous inhalation generated. That's the snare. Nicotine doesn't genuinely calm you, it simply reverses withdrawal. Your brain discovers that tranquility only exists in the gaps between cravings. With continued use, nicotine alters how your brain produces dopamine, which means without it, everything seems boring and lifeless. Physically, it harms your lungs, blood vessels, and heart. But psychologically, it's even more destructive. It persuades you that you're incapable of managing without it. Alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant, which means it decelerates your brain and nervous system. It's consumed everywhere. At parties, meals, celebrations, moments of sorrow, people drink to relax, to escape, or simply to fit in. Once it reaches your bloodstream, it begins interfering with how your brain talks to itself. Initially, that seems pleasant. The beginning brings warmth, looseness, and a feeling of boldness. You feel more receptive, more outgoing. Your thoughts settle down, your muscles relax, and the present moment seems effortless. For a period, alcohol appears like the solution to human connection. Then arrives the height. Reasoning diminishes. Feelings intensify. You speak more loudly, giggle more intensely, perhaps overstep boundaries you wouldn't while sober. The body begins losing stability. Movement becomes unsteady, but the mind still believes everything's under control. That's the deception. Alcohol slows your thinking while making you believe you're still in command. Ultimately, the decline arrives. The enjoyment shifts toward weariness. The warmth becomes oppressive. The pleasant sensation turns unclear. Hours afterward, you're parched, queasy, and clouded. The following morning, your brain chemistry collapses entirely. The hangover alcohol creates addiction in subtle, recognizable patterns. The more frequently you drink, the more your brain anticipates it to unwind. Before long, you're not drinking for pleasure, but just to feel regular. With time, it harms your liver, compromises your heart, and diminishes your self-discipline. It's a substance that makes you feel vibrant while gradually dulling everything that defines you as human. Cannabis. Cannabis is a psychoactive substance derived from the marijuana plant. It's typically smoked, vaped, or consumed as an edible. The primary active ingredient is THC, which engages with the brain's endocannabinoid system, the network that controls mood, memory, and perception. When THC reaches the bloodstream, it races to the brain and attaches to receptors that typically process natural substances called anandamides, molecules that help you feel calm and stable. That's when the beginning occurs. Time decelerates, your senses intensify, and everything seems slightly more amusing, cozier, gentler. At its height, cannabis can boost creativity and relaxation, or shift toward disorientation and paranoia depending on the amount and mental state. Music sounds richer. Colors appear more vibrant, and thoughts seem meaningful. It's an alteration of regular reality that feels both hazy and concentrated simultaneously. As the decline starts, thinking slows, conversation wanders, and sleepiness arrives. For some, it's mild. For others, it's substantial, an invisible haze that continues into the following morning. Cannabis is mildly habit-forming, but primarily mentally. Consistent use can reduce drive, interfere with short-term memory, and in large amounts, provoke anxiety or panic. It's frequently labeled harmless, but it subtly transforms how your brain produces relaxation rewards. Cocaine. Cocaine is a potent stimulant derived from coca leaves. It's typically snorted as a white powder, but can also be smoked or injected. Once it reaches the bloodstream, it saturates the brain with dopamine, preventing your body from reabsorbing it. Suddenly, your brain is overloaded with pleasure impulses. The beginning is nearly immediate, a wave of euphoria, vitality, and assurance. Your heart hammers, your pupils expand, and your brain feels charged. Every idea seems genius. Every action feels flawless. You feel indestructible. At the height, you're rapid, concentrated, and energized. But the brain's pleasure center is already consuming all its reserves. The high is intense and brief. Within minutes, dopamine levels plummet and the decline hits hard. Nervousness increases, disposition falls, and tiredness strikes. You desire more just to feel regular again. Cocaine is extremely habit-forming. The brain rapidly discovers to associate it with pleasure, drive, and mastery. But it's an illusion. Each use reconfigures you to require another. With time, it damages the heart, narrows blood vessels, and alters brain chemistry so profoundly that happiness without it seems unattainable. MDMA. MDMA, commonly called ecstasy or Molly, is a manufactured stimulant and hallucinogen. It's typically swallowed as a pill or capsule at gatherings or nightclubs. The substance floods your brain with serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, the combination responsible for joy, reward, and bonding. As the beginning starts, warmth flows through your body, music sounds fuller, lights sparkle, and physical contact feels charged. You feel profoundly bonded to friends, to strangers, to everything surrounding you. The brain is operating at peak empathy. At the height, serotonin levels soar and the world seems flawless. You dance for extended periods, you converse endlessly, you feel limitless. But MDMA depletes the brain's serotonin supply so rapidly that within hours, the decline begins. Feeling drains from you, substituted by hollowness, melancholy, or weariness. The high departs as abruptly as it came. Used too regularly, MDMA harms the neurons that produce serotonin, making natural contentment more difficult to achieve. Physically, it can raise your body temperature, dehydrate you, and in uncommon cases, trigger organ failure. It's labeled a love drug because it makes you feel bonded to everyone, but when it's finished, you recognize that bond was chemical, not genuine, and your brain's left bearing the consequences. LSD. LSD is a hallucinogen, a reality-altering substance that completely restructures how your brain interprets reality. It's typically consumed on small papers positioned on the tongue, and the quantity you take is microscopic, measured in millionths of a gram. Once it activates, LSD connects to serotonin receptors, especially one labeled 5-HT2A, which helps determine perception and mood. That's when the beginning occurs. Designs begin shifting, colors change, sounds appear to radiate. It's not like witnessing hallucinations materialize. It's like reality itself begins pulsing at the height, which can extend for hours. Time becomes meaningless. Your sense of identity, the aspect of your brain that declares I'm me, vanishes. You might feel unified with the universe, ecstatic, frightened, or both. Feelings become tangible, music feels living. The divisions between thoughts and sensations merge until everything seems like one unbroken current. Then arrives the decline, slow, gradual, like descending from space. Reality reconstructs itself, fragment by fragment. You might feel peaceful, contemplative, or emotionally exhausted. Some individuals describe it as a restoration, others as being restructured. LSD isn't physically addictive, but it's erratic. The identical amount can be paradise or terror depending on your mental state and surroundings. It can also cause flashbacks or nervousness long after the experience concludes. LSD expands the mind, but it doesn't always seal the entrance neatly afterward. Ketamine. Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic initially created for surgery. It's applied medically today in controlled doses to address depression, but recreationally, it's consumed for its out-of-body sensations. It's snorted as a powder or injected in liquid state. When it reaches your system, ketamine obstructs a chemical messenger labeled glutamate, which assists your brain in processing sensory information and sustaining awareness. The beginning arrives quickly. Within minutes, the world begins to seem remote, subdued, almost surreal. At the height, perception separates entirely. You might feel like you're hovering above your body or observing your life from afar, what users label the K-hole. Time ceases making sense. You might view yourself from outside or feel like you've departed your body completely. It's not consistently pleasant. For some, it's tranquil. For others, frightening. As the decline starts, consciousness gradually returns. Sight clears, communication reconnects. But the world still seems hazy. For a brief period, it can leave you oddly serene, like your thoughts are traveling through water. Ketamine isn't traditionally addictive, but it develops tolerance rapidly. Excessive use can produce memory difficulties, bladder harm, and emotional detachment. It can separate you from discomfort, but also from purpose. It's a substance that divides body from mind, and occasionally they don't completely reunite. Opioids. Opioids are pain relievers that originate from the opium poppy or are manufactured synthetically in laboratories. They're utilized medically as morphine or oxycodone, but on the street, they appear as heroin or fentanyl. They're swallowed, smoked, snorted, or injected, and all function identically. They connect to opioid receptors in your brain and body, eliminating pain and saturating you with euphoria. The beginning delivers warmth, ease, and relief, a profound, substantial calm that resembles safety itself. Pain vanishes, pressure disappears, and your body liquefies. It's not an active high, it's like descending into the world's most comfortable embrace. At the height, everything decelerates. Breathing becomes superficial, your pulse slows, and thoughts wander. It's paradise, but perilously near to unconsciousness. Many users pursue that sensation, but each time it's briefer, fainter, more difficult to attain. Then arrives the decline, and it's severe. Anxiety, muscle discomfort, nausea, perspiration, sleeplessness. Every nerve in your body demands the drug again. That's withdrawal. It doesn't simply make you desire more, it makes existence intolerable without it. Opioids are among the most dependency-forming substances recognized. They reconfigure the brain's survival mechanism, instructing it that the drug is as vital as oxygen. With time, they eliminate tolerance, organs, relationships, everything. The warmth they provide initially is the same warmth they extract from everything else in existence. Methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a potent stimulant, a substance that saturates your brain with dopamine and adrenaline, supercharging everything simultaneously. It's frequently consumed by smoking, swallowing, snorting, or injection, and within seconds, it strikes like electricity. As the beginning starts, vitality erupts, your heart accelerates, your mind becomes sharp, and every sense amplifies to peak intensity. You feel conscious, unstoppable, unbeatable. Conversation becomes rapid. Thoughts progress faster than language, and sleep seems entirely unnecessary. At the height, the surge is absolute intensity. Assurance transforms into euphoria. Drive becomes fixation. You might clean your entire home, converse for hours, or pursue an objective that suddenly seems like fate. It seems like mastery, but your brain's just consuming its complete dopamine reserve in one burst. Then arrives the decline, and its brutal vitality disappears. The mind collapses into exhaustion, depression, and paranoia. The world seems colorless, sluggish, and hollow, a chemical aftermath that can persist for days. Meth is profoundly addictive. Each high restructures your brain to desire that surge again, while demolishing the mechanism that generates pleasure naturally. With time, it causes severe weight reduction, sleeplessness, hallucinations, and memory deterioration. Meth provides you vitality that seems endless until you understand it's borrowed from your future self. Psilocybin. Psilocybin, commonly called magic mushrooms, is a hallucinogen present in certain fungi. It's consumed raw, prepared as tea, or crushed into capsules. Once ingested, the body transforms psilocybin into psilocin, which engages with serotonin receptors in the brain. The beginning commences within 30 minutes. Your senses heighten, designs glimmer, and reality starts to wave. Laughter arrives effortlessly. Music seems living. You're conscious of everything simultaneously: your body, your breathing, the atmosphere surrounding you. At the height, perception alters entirely. Colors throb, time expands, and you may experience a profound bond to nature, memory, or feeling. Some characterize it as awakening, others as disorder. It's like your consciousness dissolves into something greater, magnificent or overpowering, depending on what you carry into it. As the decline comes, thoughts stabilize. The world gradually reconstructs itself. You might feel serene, thankful, or emotionally receptive. But for some, it creates bewilderment or nervousness that remains for days. Psilocybin isn't physically addictive, but it's intense. It can assist people interrupt old habits, or, in the incorrect environment, provoke panic or psychosis. Mushrooms don't reveal something novel. They simply remove the veil on what's already in your consciousness. Benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepines, or benzos, are sedatives prescribed to address anxiety, panic attacks, or insomnia. They're typically consumed as pills, and they function by boosting GABA, a brain substance that reduces activity and produces calm. After taking one, the beginning resembles relief. Muscles release, thoughts hush, and the world ceases feeling so intense. Your pulse slows, your body loosens, and pressure drifts away like mist. At the height, everything seems gentle and remote. Concern diminishes, time floats, and sleep arrives readily. But as the decline begins, drowsiness shifts to disorientation, memory falters, and feeling becomes level. With regular use, the brain forgets how to remain calm without it. Benzos are intensely addictive, particularly when used outside prescription guidelines. With time, tolerance develops rapidly, meaning you require more for the identical calm. Stopping abruptly can trigger anxiety, shaking, or even seizures, a withdrawal that can be hazardous without medical supervision. They silence your mind, but silence can be habit-forming. The danger isn't the calm they deliver, it's how effortlessly they persuade you that you cannot exist without it.